gets bigger as you get older. Like, even though we know one another from nappies nearly, but we should never acknowledge the relationship only, Liam is a great character and a wonderful human being and does great work, so he does for Westport and for all this business. Like, this is a job for Liam, but also it's a love. And he just wants to get this done. So, you're a wonderful book you put together, and there's so many generations here tonight. So, that's enough of me. I'm going to go to me.
I'm delighted to be here, and it's great to be here in the church. First time I've ever been at a book launch in the church. And it's great to know that Father Malone stepped through those doors on more than one occasion. And I think it's only fitting that the book is launched in Clonbur, because Clonbur is where it's from our three, and Clonbur was a really heart centre for Father Malone. And it was here we got some great loving, I suppose I put it that way, say that happens. And it's just lovely to be here and to celebrate the night. And I'm always conscious of Jerry about this when he comes to say Mass, that the Eucharist unites heaven and earth. Well, I go one step further tonight and say, because we're in the church, I believe all those gone before us are with us at some level. So we acknowledge Father Malone and the Harrons and all those gone before us and all your people who are in this way. This has been in gestation for a long time. Noreen might tell us that, I don't know. I'm just delighted to be associated with it. And I want to point out Gert Foley's here as well. Gert laid out the book. And we had great fun, I have to say, over the last year or so doing it. It was a joy. So now it's more on Northern Net, call it Net to
flickery black and white film in Mara's Hall. Father Malone pretending to sleep and be startled in the shelter in the school when the children were trying to wake him up. I think everybody remembers his room and the jam-packed room with all the books, funny faces, he had masks and things. Some of them were a bit scary. There was a memory of the cats, and I don't think I knew, or I certainly didn't remember, it was a poem about a cat in the book again, so that's nice, and me remembered cats in a way. And then, personally, I held a bit of a grudge against the Chinese for quite a while over the death of Malone's dog, as an animal lover. Others remember the Tridentine Mass. I remember the Mass, I didn't remember it was in Latin. And pretty much all the servers that I asked remembered windowsill serving Mass. So I think his poetry, by the time he got to us, the memories for us, I mean, the films were in the 50s and 60s and earlier in his life. But for us, or certainly for me, the poetry was a big thing. And I think it was a gift. I think so, I don't know what others thought. Of experiencing a priest who was a poet and a filmmaker and an adventurer, and had all these many travel tales, as was mentioned in a certain poem, that he told us about. I'm delighted to have been asked here tonight. We know that he wrote many personal poems, and Noreen mentioned it on some of the YouTube videos I saw that he had written for some people down that side of the country, and he'd also written one for our house. He wrote Clonbur, which was immortalised with the help of Master Burke and all the children in Clonbur Primary National School. Pretty much know the first few verses at least of Clonbur. And one of my favourites is Friends Used to Know, and I was saying to Noreen again that the last few Novembers, because it feels like November poem, it's nearly like a prayer, I put it up on Facebook and things like that. So it's a very special poem. And I think that's about as much as I was going to say before I hand over, because I just thought I would give a few memories from when he was here of some children. I don't know what the others would have to say. But I thought handing over to Noreen and Friends Used to Know that I'm going to read out one memory that actually was not captured in the poem and this memory. I remember the devotion of the 4 or 5 that turned up for Mass and left me torn. Mrs. Loftus and I came on and Father Malone, all in the one small room, box room north. The server sitting on the windowsill with a little bed. It would be bad for overcrowding these days. But when I got that message, it did actually tie in with that picture that it paints for us. So thanks, Noreen, for inviting me to do this. And I'm really delighted that his story has been published, but also that the poems can go together, because that's very special. And I hope that a lot of Christmas stockings will be filled with your book this Christmas.
Kids and go up to his room, he had some kind of twine tied around his foot, and he'd not bad enough on television using this twine. So, like that one down for that too. So I want to introduce you to Noreen Tunney. This is the woman now. You can tell your own story, or like yourself.
I cannot really explain what it feels like to have this book done and dusted, because it was a long time in the making. I remember Father Malone coming to our house when I was a child, with the gem lollipops, and we thought it was only house he should come to, until later down when I was going around And then he went on to tell me, he said, you do realise that it was me that christened and baptised you? And I said, yeah, I knew christened him. He said, I also gave you your names. He said, you're called after my sister that they get Noreen from. She took Noreen when she joined the nuns. And he said, I gave you my second name, which was Francis. So he said, you're called Noreen Francis. He said, you're called after Noreen. And he said, and don't you forget that. That was my first, I think I had a connection with him after that. But then Charlie Doherty, he was a guy from RT, he was going to do a documentary on him. He came to our house and he said to me, I named some of the people in the films because it wasn't me. And I said, well, I'll try. So I think it was about 2 days after that, I went down the first place I went to was his grave, and I popped into the grave and I said a couple of prayers and I said to him, now Father Malone, if you want me to do this, you bloody well have it in your hand. I had not an idea where to start or how to go about it, but I went out of the floor and into the care, and I drove about 0 yards when I met Father Jackie Conroy coming down with a little dog, and I stood talking to him. And I told him what I was doing, and he told me to write to the very old seminary where he was ordained. And with that, John Boy came out of the house and round the care, and I said it to him, and he said to me, he said, oh, my brother-in-law was in that village, Peggy Quinn, I'll take you to him. And I said, oh, brilliant. So I figured that Malone was helping me to do that. But I did name a lot of the people and sent them off to Charlie Doherty, but nothing ever came off that documentary. I think it was, you know, all the shenanigans that happened from the time on that. So then we went on the back burner, totally. And then in 2018, Ali White came out of Westport and said to me, we were talking on Father Malone and Clonbur. So I said, yeah, to be honest about it, I didn't think there were too many people in it, so that's why I was confident in it. But I rang Mary Harrison and I asked her if she fancies saying a few words, and Mary was delighted. She said it would be an honour. And Thomas, my son, said to post, and my sister, Rachel. And that night was a great success. It was a big problem. So again, I thought, this has to be put down on paper. So I think it was about 3 days after that, I rang Mary and I said to her, would you, I said, I'm thinking about putting a book together that Malone will join. And it was David here said to me, she said, Noreen, yes, there's poems left exactly the way he wants them. So we do a poem book, and I said, we wait, we put it in the book, but I want to take it to her if I can. And she said, well, I give her all the help I can. And she did. We started on the day, but then we Mary's untimely death. It kind of stalled in for a while again. And then I met Mimi back at back in Clonbur. There was a play about Patrick Tunney, and I see him across the room and I thought, oh, he's the guy that put this over the finish line for me. And I went over and he said, oh, that'd be great. He said, I have a lot of it in a sense. So with them, we started working on it big time, and I'm delighted to be here today with the book in my hand. But it's due to a lot of people, it's not just due to me. Like, Lily had a big hand in it, and Gertie has, it was for the Gertie Foley, she got the reality of it. And Mary Carol sent me everything she had, and she had quite a big gift to get them in great condition and everything. And the slaves in Westport, they gave us all the photographs and everything. cared when meeting, say on Sunday, or mark the day or fair. You loved them in your lifetime, poor Tom, Kate or me. How much you said you missed them when God took them away. But now it is November, and they're wondering, are you there? Wondering if you're coming with that promise of prayer. I do come to them on wish that they're a pity, and I wish I had time to tell them they need a helping hand. And now I must be going, vote again before I go. I do now. For a friend you used to know.
A bird never flew on one wing, so we're going to have another poem. Is that all right? And we're going to ask Noreen's granddaughter, Laura, and this is a special poem. So, this year,
Clonbur by Malone. I've been in many countries, lived China to Japan, the Philippines, the USA, and to the Isle of Man. I've been in France from England to Scotland and to Wales, and now I'm back in Ireland with many travel tales. I'm near Loch in Clonbur beside the sea, where nature's in the forefront along the Irish River. Your people live in comfort and hidden scenic grounds, while those I saw kept rushing in the here comes and never much complain, except perhaps a boaster of high prices, sometimes earned. Remember is the answer that God like us does lapse, when going off on weekends doesn't turn off his taps. Your cats and dogs and bless them, come up to you well fed, and brush your legs, especially after you pat them on the head. The kids though, holy Moses, it drives their heater mad, for this is up the harmony, with tricks no service has. Have Batman regularly, and when the day you'll find the brass and clothes, down the club. And house for every day, and playing with their little ones between the cups of tea. So Dora and Mary stop here a day or two. You'll thank me, friend, for telling you, as what I say is true. Clonbur and its man Gable, Lochar and Lochmass, Ashford and Nara, Nelson Boy and Glenross. The columns here among us, with art, style and all, will strike you with their beauty beneath their gold shawl. Although I am a gambler, I bet you 2-1, Clonbur has both the equals, now who will take me on?
he was also an artist, I'm sure you know that. If you go down to a hundred website, you see this. He drew this picture of Pope Patrick, bed and breakfast. It's on page 39 for those who are supposed to see a picture of it. And a lovely picture of Mary Hannah, just to bring it to your attention as well, just before the contents page. All I have to do now is say, good evening, Matthew. It's great for you to be here. It's great for me to be here. Thanks very much. Thanks to Jerry, my cousin, for facilitating us. Talk cup on tea and shop, and sandwiches, and biscuits, and cakes, and everything else. And there's no baskets for around, no collection. There's books for sale over there, and Noreen will sign so if anybody wants to sign it. And you were saying what? You want to what? I'm just going to say I'm listen up. You want to sing? You want to sing?
No, thank you.
I don't know. It's not often you see a karaoke choir today. This is going to be really grateful for that.